So, I hear we're into some of the same stuff.
You're about to join Jon
and Eric
as we explore said stuff.
really bad movies, Sega Genesis,
Sports and girls. The interesting aspects of pop culture.
and we'll answer listeners' mail because you have so much to say.
You are listening to
A sophisticated conversation.
Greetings and welcome to episode 9 of Podcast Revolution.
Number 9.
Yes, it is number 9. Yes, you're reminding me of one of the worst Beatles songs ever made.
Number 9.
What's the name of that song? Revolution number 9. Oh, this is podcast.
It's on the White
Revolution
Album,
number 9.
right? It's on
It is on the White Album. Second disc. Second to last track, I believe.
Yeah, I think you are right.
Yeah.
Because then the last one, was it Good Night? Was that the last one?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. So we got a very important show for you here today.
We have, speaking of important, we have two very important people here on the show. We have the pilot, Captain Jeff Russell.
Captain
everybody.
J-Russ.
Captain
Hello.
J-Russ.
Pleasure to be here, gentlemen.
He is
All right.
actually a pilot. How many planes have you flown?
Oh, I think I've flown 6 or 7 at this point.
And how many flights total?
Oh,
How many
more-
hours? How many
more
hours?
than I can count.
Okay.
And also in the studio, we'll get back to you, Captain. And also in the studio, returning, our first returning guest is also who was our first guest, Kevin Stein.
Yeah,
Cages himself.
Cages.
How's it going, guys?
He didn't want that nickname, but I think it's staying.
No, he wanted it. He just didn't want to
We
admit
did
it.
good. We got Hippie Dave. We got Cages. We got Captain J-Russ, Bacteria Mike,
Ketchup Hines.
Ketchup Hines. And speaking of
And
Ketchup
Frenchie,
and Frenchie, and
who screwed up our last podcast.
he did. But speaking of Ketchup Hines, we have a follow up. Everybody on if you listened to our last podcast, you heard about
The
how
defecation in his lunchbox.
yeah, one
from
of
a
his
coworker.
one of his coworkers took a poop in his lunchbox at work, which is
He
like
didn't
literally
appreciate it.
the grossest thing I've ever heard of. And he didn't appreciate it, and turns out that guy got
He got the boot.
he got the boot for pooping in his lunchbox. So what do you think, Cages?
He'll have to find a new lunchbox to poop in.
Well deserved. Well deserved. I agree.
Now, Captain J-Russ, if let's say you're in a flight school or an airline, and you're a pilot, and your co-pilot pooped in your lunchbox, how do you think? What would happen in that case?
Well, I don't know. I sort of need him there, so I would be careful about what I do. But I don't know. He might be in for something when we got on the ground.
Is there even like are there bathrooms on smaller planes? Like,
No bathrooms.
so if you gotta go, I mean, you gotta wait until you get to your destination, pretty much.
Yeah,
Are
you
there
gotta wait.
are there pilots who wear diapers?
Maybe the older ones, not me, not me, folks, not me,
Not yet.
not yet.
What if you ate like a big plate of nachos before you went on a flight and you had to go?
Well,
What would you do?
I don't know. I've never been in that situation.
All right,
So
let's stop for a second. What would happen if you started working at an airline and you're the co-pilot and the main pilot says that he wears diapers? Would that make you a little uncomfortable?
I don't know. Not really. I guess maybe. I don't know.
Well, let's say you're flying and it smells like he's made a duty mid-flight and you're stuck in the cockpit
hey,
with
well,
him.
I got my oxygen mask right there, so I probably got dying at that point.
Touche, J-Russ.
They think of everything on these planes.
Well, there was some big news tonight. I know, as everyone says, they hate sports, but you know what? We love sports, especially we love the Boston Bruins.
That's the
Here's the
that matters.
This
It
is
matters.
the compromise for sports people. We won't talk about any sports, but you gotta let us at least mention the Bruins occasionally because we love the Bruins. It's
We love the sport of hockey.
we love the sport of hockey. We love the Bruins, and tonight the Bruins got Seguin,
Tyler Sagan.
Tyler Seguin, and number 2 pick in the draft, and I'm excited. How about you?
I'm excited for big things. I was kind of hoping for Taylor Hall because the Bruins need a wing. They don't need another center, but both players had a lot of promise, and we hope he delivers.
Let's hope. And it wasn't our fault picking him because we were Edmonton got the first pick, so
So Bruins don't have to say, "Oh, we could have had him," because they couldn't if they just got what they could get.
Right. So it's kind of nice knowing that in a way too.
So if Sagan does really well and Hall does poorly, then Edmonton's gonna hang their head in shame,
Right. Well,
like they did last season when they had like 5 wins.
Like Cages after our first podcast. I think.
He hangs his head every day.
Yeah.
So Cages, how are you today?
I'm alright.
All right. What did you do today?
Sat on my ass mainly.
You sat on your ass mainly. Okay. And what did you do while you sat on your ass?
Watch TV.
Okay.
Was it anything interesting?
No.
No.
What did you watch on TV, Cages?
Whatever that was on.
So instead of doing something productive with your
Yeah,
life or
yeah.
studying and becoming a learned individual, you sat and watched court TV dramas.
Sure.
So
I'm lazy, I know.
So what are you doing tomorrow then?
Probably the same thing. My grandfather's gonna arrive tomorrow, and I haven't seen him in a while. So
Okay. Where's he?
Good
Where's
family outing?
Yeah. Where's he coming from?
he's coming from Greensboro, North Carolina.
Oh wow.
Pretty far drive.
Is he a snowbird? Does he go down there in the winter and then comes back up for the summer?
He lives down there with my uncle on my dad's side.
That's pretty good. That'll be exciting. Hopefully you won't, just sit on your ass and you'll get up and
We'll see what happens when it's my turn to watch him. So
Watch him. Does he have
Watch
diapers? Does he wear diapers?
Does he wear diaper?
No.
You should take him to see some hot chicks. Get him all excited.
Go clowning.
I don't know.
Go clowning. Yeah, you and your grandpa can go clown some girls together.
Sure.
Oh boy.
Did we ever hear back from Scott or anyone about?
No. Just keep going.
No, just keep going.
Ask Captain J-Russ a question.
Captain J-Russ,
Yes, Eric.
what is the strangest thing you've noticed while flying a plane?
I've seen some interesting shapes of clouds. Yeah, I've seen some look like some body parts that we may not want to talk about. I've flown over John Travolta's little private airport a few times. It's pretty.
Wait, John Travolta has an airport?
He has quite the airport, and he has quite the airplane. He has a Qantas Boeing 707 gas guzzler that he owns.
How much does it cost to maintain one of those things?
I'm sure a lot. I don't know. I'm certain he certainly has the money. So
How does John Travolta can join my? I have like a pantheon of horrible actors that have a lot of recognition and get awards.
Yeah.
I think John Travolta needs to be in there.
Yeah, he's
On my Mount Rushmore of horrible actors that somehow make a lot of money and have won awards, he's number 3 with Costner, Nick Cage, and Travolta.
I'd put him at number 1.
You think Travolta's number 1?
Of those 3, yeah, I'd put him
I'd
at
say
number 1.
Costner, to be honest with you.
All
He's a
right.
pretty bad actor, but somehow
I think
What?
Travolta's best role recently was in. Well, I can't remember the name of the movie. The music. No, not
Hairspray.
Hairspray. That's the one.
Didn't he play like a fat chick in
He
it?
did. And he was Christopher Walken's wife.
Was he a hot fat chick?
Yes.
Yes. All right, good. Cages like
If
that, right?
Christopher Walken would tap that, then you can't turn it down.
Oh man, and I think we should go to our first commercial break.
You think we should?
I think so. And we'll follow up with maybe some viewer mail or listener mail. I'm sorry.
All right. We'll be back after the break.
Have you recently lost a family member or loved one to a tragic auto collision that didn't need to happen? Or have you been involved in one yourself? Well, guess what? We, the good folks at Autotrader.com, want to help you get the vehicle that's right for you to replace that old destroyed one. So come on down to Autotrader.com so you don't end up like these schmucks. And, you know what? We're good people at Autotrader.com.
And we're back.
Yeah.
We'd like to thank Autotrader.com for showing up in our banner ad. And,
Yeah, check it out on our website, autotrader.com. There's a link to them. check it out. They have some good cars there.
All right, so now we've got some listener mail from Minna and Eric. Would you like to indulge me?
Oh, absolutely. Minna writes, "Hello, gentlemen."
I thought you were going to read it in a woman's voice.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
"Hello, gentlemen. I wanted to say that I love your podcast and that I can't wait until the dance-off. Take lots of pics and maybe even a video. LOL. Also, when someone is dancing at a club or wherever, men/woman, I think she meant woman, always look at how someone dances and pertains it to sex. Sex. If someone can thrust hips, male or male, and do it...
Female or male.
Female or male.
You know what's on Eric's mind.
Well, I got cages next to me. It's hard not to think about that. And do it very well. Then all eyes are on their ass, and people start to think about how that person would be in bed. I know it sounds crazy, but I have many friends, male and female, that have said what I just did. I want to meet some of those females. So, yeah. Or, no, she wrote yen. So, yen. So, yeah. Dancing is fun, and if a man can dance, not effing fist pumping, then I would watch his ass all night, laughing my ass off. P.S. Shake what your mama gave ya. Keep up the good work. Smooches, Minna. Well, we actually have producer Melissa is here. Do you want to give us your thoughts, since you are also a woman, on do you agree with Minna and the swaying of hips?
Well, I've never actually thought about that, but now that I think about it, yeah, that could possibly be true.
So if you saw Jon getting his groove on at a club and thrusting his hips, would you look at his ass and then start thinking about sex and how he would be in bed?
Absolutely.
All right, well, Minna is right.
What about cages?
Quite possibly.
Are you sure?
Cages, will you ever be found in a club thrusting?
Cages is just like in a corner all by himself, just like thrusting with no one near him.
Oh, he looks more like a fist pumper to me.
Cages, what do you think? Would you thrust? Would you be like, ladies, my nickname is Cages? You know what that means?
How about you, Captain J-Russ? Or does thrust mean something different to you since you're a pilot?
No, I can't see myself doing that.
I kind of like this, so maybe this is why I need to get into dancing, so that I can hang out with Minna and her friends, and especially I can thrust, so they'll look at my ass, apparently.
As long as you don't fist pump.
Melissa, do you check out guys' asses at clubs while they're dancing? Is that a yes?
No comment?
Alright, producer Melissa won't comment on that one. But you'll comment about what you prefer for pubic hair on men in our last episode. But you won't comment about looking at guys' asses at clubs.
Well, let's turn the tables. Do you look at guys' asses, Eric?
Absolutely. Especially Cages.
Are you looking at it right now? Oh boy, oh.
Yes, I am.
Gage is just shaking his head.
I hit you.
So where's Trevor? Where's Trevor, your comrade?
Probably being a lot busier than I am.
He's probably watching TV.
Well, that's not
Probably watching
I was saying,
TV.
that's not very hard to be busier than you, Cages. Oh man, well, Minna, thank you for your email, and thanks for the love in your email. I could feel it. I can feel the love in
Stimulating
Minna's email.
conversation.
I can feel it. I think she likes our show, and thank you very much, and keep sending us some emails.
Yeah.
And actually, anybody who would like to send us emails, we're at podcastrevolution at G as in Google, mail.com.
You don't type in as in Google. It's just gmail.com.
Well, I'm saying like G as, because like G could sound like B as in boy, or
No, G kind of sounds like G.
Well, I mean, it kind of, you know. When you
I don't think
speak on-
anyone has ever heard of bmail.com.
All right, John.
Like, I know. No, I'm not gonna look.
John,
right
go
now.
thrust in a corner. Leave me alone.
Too late. Anyways,
Moving on.
So one thing that we might be able to talk about is this website that I not recently, but I've recently gotten back into, which it's kind of a guilty pleasure, and I don't even like this website. I feel bad about going to it, but
I don't.
It's
I really enjoy this website.
Peopleofwalmart.com.
Peopleofwalmart.com is fantastic, and I think most people, you know, everyone's gone to Walmart once in their life.
Actually,
Maybe many times in their life.
I saw some stat that said I think 80-something% of Americans have been to Walmart at least once in the last year.
Oh yeah, I mean everybody goes to Walmart. Who doesn't go to Walmart? J-Russ, do you go to Walmart?
I do go to Walmart.
Cages, do you go to Walmart?
I've been in a Walmart,
He
not recently though.
doesn't leave his house, remember?
That's true. He kind of just sits.
Yeah.
Producer Melissa, do you go to Walmart?
I go to Walmart about every other day.
Every
Seriously.
really? What
Yes.
do you get every other day when you're at Walmart?
I usually get a lot of my food there, actually.
All right, food. All right.
Food's
It's
good.
cheap, but
I mean, Walmart, we're not trying to put down Walmart in this segment. If people think we're bashing on Walmart, we're not bashing Walmart. Walmart's, you know, you can get some great deals at Walmart. You can. I bought a TV there last week. It was like $100 cheaper.
That's a
if I
pretty
got
cool
somewhere else.
story, Eric.
Thank you.
That's a really
But
cool story.
My point is this, John.
I don't think you can
Walmart's-
top that story.
Walmart, as we know, has some very interesting people.
Well, since
that
so
shop
many
there.
Americans go there, and there's bound to be some interesting customers.
Oh, there is. Now, what's the most interesting customer you've seen at a Walmart, John?
In real life,
Yes.
that you're kind of putting me on the spot here.
Oh, well, come on. I mean, I've seen a woman with a ferret in a Walmart.
Really?
You're telling me you haven't seen anything like that in a Walmart?
I've seen people like really ripping into their kids for doing nothing. That's probably the extent.
I think my favorite part of Walmart is the one in Salem. It used to be open 24 hours a day. It's not anymore. And if you went at like 3 in the morning, you would have think it would be like 1 in the afternoon on a Saturday. I think there was more people at Walmart.
Actually,
like
when I was
3
in
the
high
morning.
school, one time I went there at 1 in the morning, and I was pushing around my friend in a shopping cart for an hour.
Really, John? That's a
And
good story,
we,
John.
We,
Yeah, that's
we accessorized. We stopped by the automotive section and got him a steering wheel, and then his back was hurting, so we went to the bedding section and got him a pillow. And we got him some stuffed animals and some comrades, and then we kind of grew up and stopped doing it.
Well, for those folks who don't know, peopleofwalmart.com is a collection of photos that anyone can submit. It's probably mostly done on like Blackberries and iPhones and stuff, I'm guessing,
Probably.
because they're a little more discreet. And they're just very interesting people.
People who shouldn't leave home dressed the way they are.
It's a good study of Americana, I think, is people of Walmart. You'll see a lot of cracks, especially of many different areas. What else will you see at people?
You'll see some larger Americans in their shopping activities. They're trying to mind their own business, but they're eyesores to everybody.
Yeah, you'll see some very large Americans with some things hanging pretty low.
And yes,
And Cages, what's the strangest thing you've seen at Walmart?
There was a Walmart down in Brooksby, Mass. That I heard it's right by this old retirement home where my grandparents are living right now.
Yeah.
And so all the old people go and shop there. And so one guy was coming around, trying to head out of Walmart and park, and steps on the accelerator and drives right into the store.
Really?
Yep.
Oh man,
that's no good.
that's not good. I thought they have most stores, Walmarts, don't they have like those like concrete like barriers in the front to try to like
Somehow
stop?
he went right between them.
That's true. If you're going fast enough, you can probably break through those things. But I thought you were gonna say when you were going off on that story about how there's like old people. I thought you were gonna say they like recruit old people to like greet you at the door. They just kind of like cycle
I
in.
wouldn't be surprised.
They like wake up a guy. Hey, you gotta go work in the Walmart. Like, you gotta support the home. Like,
And then there's J-Russ over here who, I saw him, he looked pretty disgusted when we were looking at that site. He probably thought he wanted to get in one of his single-engine planes and spray pesticide all over those people. Would you be able to do that for a job?
Yes, I could. I could do that.
Do you have any interest in spraying pesticides on Walmarts?
Well, if they paid me enough, I suppose.
So you could get a job spraying Walmarts with pesticides when ugly customers leave.
If Walmart paid me to do it, yes, I could say yes to that.
I don't think they would.
Me neither.
But you could spray pesticides on fields and whatnot.
Yes.
And you've done that before, technically. At
have.
another company spraying
yes,
lawns.
At another company, yes.
Not on an airplane.
I thought you were gonna say J-Russ like crop dusted or something. I'm like, that's sick.
I don't miss those days.
Well, wouldn't that make the job a lot easier if you could just get in a plane and drive over the lawn and drop it from there?
It would. It would be very efficient, actually. Especially, I can think of a few places where it would be beautiful to do that.
Where?
On some residential lawns.
Some lawns that are like the size of the state of New Hampshire, I think. There's a few of them that
That's
I've
a pretty
done.
big lawn.
Oh, you mean Cages' lawn? I'm just joking about the Cages.
Really, I never would have guessed.
I know.
No, he's just thrusting at you.
Yeah, I'm just thrusting. I felt bad
Don't be
because
thrusting anywhere near me.
I almost drowned Cages tonight. Actually, very close. I almost killed him. I pushed him into the pool, thinking it would be funny.
It was funny. It was funny.
It was funny,
It was
but
still
little
funny.
did I know that Cages can't swim. So,
Not very well.
so
With a name like Cages, you think he'd be a great swimmer.
But yeah, Cages could swim, so it wasn't funny.
He rocks the mean doggy paddle though.
Yeah, you did. You had a good doggy paddle.
I try.
He didn't sink.
I think another episode of Podcast Revolution. Now that we can take the podcast anywhere we want because we bought, we have the recorder. Let's take Cages to the beach, and he's gonna swim. Better yet, let's throw him in the middle of a lake, and he's gonna swim. Cages, how do you feel about that?
I think you're gonna kill me.
That'd make for great radio.
I think
It'd make for better video, but
Don't you think? Well, we could put pictures up. So
that's true.
Cages, how would you like that? Would you like a live podcast of you swimming or learning how to swim?
I don't know about that.
All right. Well, we
You
can
might-
either,
you
we
might
can either
get the
do
ladies.
a special. We can do a special segment where Cages learns how to swim, or one where he just gets out of the house. Cages learning how to interact with people in public.
Where you open the door of your house? Is it like
Stoop
2001?
kid won't leave his stoop. Stoop kid won't leave the
Is
stoop.
it like dun 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 dun?
Dun 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 dun.
Cages, do you normally see daylight? Like, does the sun ever touch your skin?
All right, it's official. Cages hates Eric.
I don't hate Cages though.
Well, that's because he's a boy and not a girl.
Oh, that's true because I don't like females. I like thrusting with Cages. No, Cages, I'm serious though. Even though I almost killed you tonight, you're my favorite guest we ever had on the show.
Better than Hippie Dave.
Better than Hippie Dave.
Better than Ketchup Hines.
Better than Ketchup Hand.
Better than
Bacteria Mike.
Ketchup Hand.
Ketchup Hand. Ketchup Hand. Better than Bacteria Mike.
Bacteria Mike will be going on the trip to Toronto with us,
Yeah.
so maybe you'll get to like him a little bit more.
Well, no, I've always liked Bacteria Mike. I'm just
Well,
saying
if you don't like him that much, he might infect you.
That's true, but I'm just saying I think
And Cages could infect you too.
I just think Cages is a lot cooler. He got off the couch today. He came all the way here. I mean, this is a big moment for him. This is like learning to walk.
Actually, this is pretty interesting because the other day you hated him when he scored a lot of goals on you in hockey.
He started. Cages, why don't you tell everybody about a specific goal that you scored in hockey? Why don't you let everyone know? Speak in the mic, Cages.
We were doing a shootout down at Hood Park. And came on in and took a shot, and it never goes where I intend it to, and it gave Eric a bit of a tap underneath.
In the gooch.
It got me in the gooch. I have a cup. I'm a goalie, so I have a cup on, but somehow Cages found a way to get the shot to go up, above.
Up, it had eyes. It went up and around.
Right, it went up and around essentially because the cup covers the front of the area
You can't say penis. You're a big boy.
Penis. Are you happy, John?
I'm always happy when penis is involved. What do you think I am? Cages? Come on.
Well, Cage just thrust a shot up and around into the gooch. It was
Your
just like-
gooch? He thrust a shot into your
He
gooch?
thrust a shot into my gooch, and it hurt really, really bad.
I imagine it would.
I got down and was like crying almost. And what happens? The ball just rolls down my gooch.
Sounds like clowning right there.
It does. The ball, after Cage shoots it, it rolls down my gooch, past my leg, barely goes over the line, and my stick, I like threw it. I'm like in pain, and then Cage is just laughing.
Well, on that note, looks like we have another commercial coming our way.
Hey John, guess where I'm going next week?
Fireworks.
No, guess again.
Swimming.
Nope, one more.
To the club to thrust yourself.
Yes, I am going to the club to thrust myself. And whenever I go to the club to thrust myself, you know what I do with my dogs?
No, I don't.
I have Paw Promise watch them.
Oh, that's better.
It is better.
What's Paw Promise?
Paw Promise is a service that when you're not around to walk your dogs or take care of them, or you're on a business trip, they can come in and take care of your fun little furry friends.
What about cats?
They can do cats too.
Okay.
Yeah, so Paw Promise. Next time you're going out with your dogs to the club, and I don't mean your furry ones, make sure to call Paw Promise.
At pawtopawpromise.com.
Woo!
And we're back. All right. Well, thank you, Paw Promise, for sponsoring us.
Yeah.
All right, so what I thought for this segment, what we could do is steal a segment from a morning show I listen to, The Morning Buzz. Check out Greg and the Morning Buzz podcast. It's very good. But
ours is better.
Ours might be better. But yeah, okay. Anyways, one segment they do is called Who's the Douchebag, where we ask a question and then throw it to other people to try to answer. So Captain J-Russ and I have a question. We want to know who the douchebag is in this situation.
Okay.
And it involves the two of us, actually.
Okay.
Okay. So, several years ago, I trained J-Russ to play hockey. We trained an entire summer on playing hockey. We played roller hockey, and then I trained him for ice hockey. All right? And we ended up on the same team in Manchester. All right? You still following me?
Yes.
Okay. So, at Hood Park, the same place that we play.
Right.
All right, so I trained him there. Taught him everything he knows. So we're playing ice hockey. We're on our team. And then he does okay for his first few games, looking good. And then at a game where his parents go to, the first time they show up, he gets 2 goals early on. So it was looking good.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
And then later, all right, where it's me, J-Russ, and someone else on the other team. That guy's trying to clear the zone, and everyone's in the neutral zone. And he brings it to the blue line. J-Russ steals it from him.
It's a 2-on-1.
It's a 2-on-1, and J-Russ, then he steals it from this guy, so he's all by himself, and I'm right next to the net, and J-Russ looks, he sees me next to the net, and I'm yelling, shoot it, get the hat trick, and he just passes it to me, and right on my stick, and I have to shoot it in the net. And J-Russ comes over to give me a high five, and I just tell him not to touch me.
It was by far the most perfect pass ever. I want to make sure our listeners know.
But your family wanted to see you get the hat trick.
Well, but it was tape to tape. It was it was so perfect. It was just the picture perfect setup.
I was not happy when I put that puck in the net. I was mad, legitimately. I did not want to get that goal. I had plenty of goals. This was J-Russ's moment, and he took it away from himself.
And you're a douchebag.
I'm a douchebag?
Yes.
Why am I a douchebag?
Because J-Russ did the right thing. He he doesn't care about individual stats. He made the right play. It was about the team. Team player. You are a selfish douchebag.
I agree with
I'm
that.
not selfish. I wanted him to have his moment. I didn't want to have a moment. His family was there for the first time. They didn't go to games too often.
When I see my shot, the goalie was in position. Now maybe I could have put it in. I probably could have. But when I passed to you, I pretty much gave you a wide open net. That was a sure thing for us when I gave it to you. So I agree with Eric in this case.
All right, so Eric says I'm the douchebag. Kevin, what do you say? Cages.
I gotta go with the captain. I mean, you can't fault John for wanting his friend look good in front of his parents. I mean,
Thank you, Cages. If you were in my situation and you had it put right on your stick, what would you do? You have no choice but to put in the empty net, but I wanted to shoot it at his face.
You could have passed it back to J-Russ.
I wanted to. I should have.
Why didn't? Then you're the douchebag a second time.
You know what, Eric? Maybe you should go play youth hockey. Actually, you'd probably get smoked.
Probably.
But
As
all
long
right,
as they
so
don't hit me in the gooch.
looks like we have a tie in the studio. So we're
Wait. We don't need a tie. Producer Melissa, who's a douche?
Eric, way to ruin the segment because I said we were gonna have the listeners answer in an email.
I don't care. I said in the last episodes I don't care about the listeners. I
It is
don't
true.
care.
I think you're the douchebag.
Probably. It's okay. They like my thrusting. It's all good.
Okay.
I want the listeners to let's hear from the listeners on this. I want to hear from everybody. See what others think.
All right. Right now we're averaging 1.5 emails per show, so we're hoping to get more than 1.5 to help decide on this.
Hell, if you're listening to the show, you can even be on this show. Just let us know. I mean,
We're very flexible.
we are, and you can even call John a douche to his face, rather than through an email. So, you're
Except
welcome
I'm
to-
not a douche. Everyone's going to agree with me and see Captain J-Russ for the phony fraud that he is. He thinks he's a good passer. Instead, he's a prick. He should have scored the goal and gotten the hat trick, and everyone would have celebrated and been happy. But no, he had to pass to me, and no one's gonna celebrate when I get a goal. I got 30 goals left and right. This was J-Russ's moment in the sun, and he blew it.
No, you're a douche.
No, Kevin Cages knows what's up.
oh yeah.
Cages can't even swim. Don't give me that.
Wow!
Oh, boy.
Oh, that's a douche move right there. Oh, hit him!
I'm just kidding, Cages. I love you, man.
Hit him when he's
No,
down.
no, I like Cages is the man. I kid with him, but I really
I
like.
can doggy
I really
He
like.
can
Cages.
doggy paddle.
You know, I like Cages so much. I'm calling out all the lady listeners to come in and meet Cages. Get him off his ass, off his couch. He's available all summer, ladies. He is ready, aren't you, Cages?
Oh yeah.
Now that is confidence.
That is
right there.
enthusiasm.
That is
right
confidence right there. I mean, with a nickname like Cages,
there. You can't go wrong.
you can't go wrong. I mean, how do you think he got that nickname? From being friendly. That's right.
He's a nice guy.
He is.
All right, so Captain J-Russ, you recently just drove all the way to New Hampshire from Florida. That must have been an interesting trip.
It was a long trip. Let's put it that way.
So, stupid question. Would it have been faster if you went in an airplane?
Yes.
How fast did the airplanes go that you fly?
I fly small planes mostly, 150 to 200 miles an hour. They're quite quicker than a car, but not a jet by any means.
So how fast would it take to get to New Hampshire from Florida on a plane?
I could probably do it in 6 or 7 hours, probably. It's still a ways. I mean, either way, it's the good thing about flying. There's no traffic. That's the main thing. You just go.
What- Go ahead.
Do you ever see other planes near you? in the sky?
I've had a couple near misses. Yes.
Really? Like how close are we talking about here?
Very close. Like I could
Like
see
50
the other
feet?
guy in the plane. Yeah.
Did you guys both like flick
We-
off each other? Is there like instead of road rage, is there
I
like
was-
cloud rage
I
or
was
something?
too busy trying to get the hell out of the way. I wasn't really looking at him. I got the plane up on its side and just turned as quickly
Wouldn't
as
you
I
see
could.
each other on radar or something?
No, we don't have radar.
Or are you both at the same altitude?
Yes.
So what if you're both flying in clouds? Could you potentially hit each other?
Well, if we were flying in clouds, that wouldn't be a problem because the only way you can fly in clouds is if you're under air traffic control. In this case, we were in visual conditions, so we don't have to be technically under air control.
I always thought planes, all of them had radar screens, and you can see where other planes are to stay out of your way. Really? So you just have to look in the distance, and you see a plane.
There are whenever you fly on an airliner. So if you fly on a commercial airline, they have what's called TCAS. They call it Traffic Collision Avoidance System. So they can see other planes, but our planes don't have
Do you
that.
fly as high as those planes?
Absolutely not.
How
What-
high?
Yeah, what's the highest you've been?
The highest I've been about 12,000 feet. Any higher than that, and you have to have supplemental oxygen, which I don't have on board my plane.
Why?
Why? Because we never
Are
go
you
that
stupid?
high.
Have you ever wanted to be like James Bond and just jump out of the plane with a parachute pack and land on an
I actually
island
think
and
that those
infiltrate?
people who jump out of planes are crazy. To be honest with you, I'll fly in a plane all day, but I would never ever jump out of it.
Or if someone hired you to be like Indiana Jones pilot guy who just sits in the river all day and waits for him to run back being chased by a bunch of crazy natives, would you do that job?
I would, yes. Well, as you know, all pilots are poor right now. I'm looking for jobs, so we'll take whatever we can get.
Even if you're getting shot at by arrows and guns.
Yeah, I think it's worth the risk.
Okay. Yeah, you should fly one of those water planes, those planes that can land in the water.
Actually, I've been meaning to get. You have to have a special license to do that. I've been meaning to get it.
Don't you need a special license for everything?
Well, no, not everything, but it depends on what you're going to be doing.
Are there anything that's illegal to do while flying a plane? Can you not eat burgers while you're flying a plane?
There's nothing that. No, you can.
Can you play with yourself?
Can you get down and busy while flying a plane?
Well, it would be difficult seeing how you're strapped in, but I suppose.
So, is it illegal to have a gun in the cockpit?
I don't know. There's nothing that I know of that says you can't.
Well, in commercial flights, I believe it's illegal.
Commercial flights, that's a difference.
But for you can do whatever you want. Can you have a whip? A big whip?
And wear a fedora.
Yeah, I mean, we have to go outside when we go through. We have to go through security as well to a certain extent, and they would probably catch that. Wonder what I'm doing with it.
Do you ever get bugs on your windshield?
Yes.
Do you have windshield wipers that spray blue liquid to clean it?
No, we do not.
So what happens?
Well, you just have to wait till you get on the ground, I guess, and then deal with it.
What happens if a lot of bugs hit it and you can't see anything? Do you kick the windshield out?
Have you ever? Yeah.
Well, we are trained to fly on instruments, but we need to see at some point. So.
Have you ever hit a duck or a bird?
I've hit a bird, yes. It wasn't a severe bird strike. Didn't shut down my engine or anything, but it actually hit the front of our right wing. Believe it.
Why do birds take down? Remember, there was in New York that plane that 747 did that crash landing in the harbor, and it was a bird.
Yeah, Sully.
Sully.
How does a bird do that? What is it?
Well, a jet engine. The air is sucked through the compressor, and if a bird, for example, disrupts that airflow into that compressor, and it also shears when it comes in, it shears everything inside the engine, and that's really what shuts it down.
You think there'd be a bird guard?
Yeah, or something like what they had on trains to kill cows that fell asleep on tracks.
Actually, it's funny you say that. They did explore that after that incident. I forget why they said they couldn't do that. I can't remember if it was weight or aerodynamic reasons, but for some reason they couldn't do it.
Do animal rights groups ever get mad at airplanes for killing birds?
I don't know.
Okay, I have this is a question that's been on the minds of millions of people throughout the years. J-Russ, why is it called the cockpit?
I don't know.
You know answer. Why is it? I feel like when you become a pilot, it's kind of like a secret society, and they tell you why.
No, I haven't heard anything special.
Well, if anybody in the audience has an Oxford English dictionary, look up the etymology of the word cockpit, and just don't look at the words before it.
Somebody send us an email and tell us what they found.
We could do the research ourselves, or we could have Frenchie do it, but Frenchie has a sunburn.
Who sent us the email earlier again?
Minna,
look up cockpit for us. I like Minna's my favorite writer, I think. She writes some very interesting things, and I think tell us the history of the word cockpit. And even if you can't find it, make it up on your own. We'll read it. We need to know why it's called cockpit.
You just like to say cockpit.
Cockpit.
Cages, what are you doing over there?
He's thinking of cockpits.
He can't. He's literally speechless, folks. He has a one-track mind, and we know where it is right now. Poor Cages. But anyways, looks like we have one of our final commercial breaks coming up, so let's get into it.
Cockpit.
Have you forgotten me? No? Then guess what? You want to watch a video about American life? No better place on American website than feedpresso.com.
All right, so it's about time to wrap the show up.
Oh yeah, this is one of my favorite parts actually. When we finish off,
When we make our recommendations.
We like good stuff, so I like sharing it. And we have two special people who will be sharing their opinions as well. And we've never done this before when we're recommending TV shows.
That's true. We've always recommended movies, books, or albums.
Yep.
And now we're going to recommend TV on DVD or on demand or Netflix or wherever you go.
All right.
All right, so why don't we start with Cages?
I've said it before, but Dexter.
What's that, Cages?
Dexter.
Dexter. What's Dexter?
It's a show about a serial killer who kills bad guys.
It kills bad guys.
Yes.
Is it a good show?
Oh, yeah.
What kind of show? Is it a comedy show? Is it dramatic?
It's kind of a dark comedy.
A very dark comedy.
You were laughing when you said comedy.
It's got a lot of puns in it.
I actually know Dexter. I've watched 3 of the 4 seasons, and I intend to watch the 4th very soon. It's an excellent show. It's well acted by Michael C. Hall as Dexter, and his
I always think of that kid in the science lab on the Cartoon Network that everyone talks
Dexter's
about.
Laboratory.
Yeah, I always think of that. I could never think of this. I've never seen Dexter, actually.
I highly recommend it. And Kevin just recommended it to all our viewers, so
You know what,
you might as well
Kevin,
recommend
Cages,
it to you.
one day I'm going to hang out with you all week. We're just going to sit down on a couch. We're going to watch Dexter.
Sounds like what he does at college.
And home.
And home.
It's my life.
All right,
That's a
Eric.
good life.
Eric, what's your recommendation for this week?
Oh, my recommendation. Degrassi Season 1.
Wow.
And by the way...
well, which Degrassi? There's several...
Well, I'm saying The Next Generation. That's the one that I care about.
Okay.
Season 1. And actually going on right now on the end, which is now called Teen Nick, is a every episode ever marathon of Degrassi. And they started it last night. And they started with the first episode. And they're going through like all 200 of them. So I'll be watching a lot of that this weekend.
Yeah.
And then we're going to Toronto next week where the show is based. And I want to actually see if I can find Degrassi Street, because there actually is a real Degrassi Street.
That makes the Team USA game actually look kind of cool.
I know. And then Drake's album, I think, came out this week. So it's been a very Degrassi-filled week for me. So I recommend that.
Yeah, you watch those guys thrusting.
This girl's on it, too.
Yeah, but you don't watch for them.
No, I watch for the drama and the stories. They're very good.
All right, so far we have Dexter, an excellent show, and Degrassi, a girl show.
You've never even seen Degrassi.
I'm all set. All right, moving on to...
Go ride some horses in Boston, John. Leave me alone.
That's probably more stimulating. All right, J-Russ,
Yeah,
Captain J-Russ, who actually came up with the idea of recommending a TV show. What great show do you have to recommend to us?
I'm going to recommend a show. Some of our listeners may get HBO. It's season 7 of this show premieres on Sunday at 10:30 p.m. It's called Entourage. It's an excellent show. I think a dramedy would be the best way to describe its genre.
Okay.
It's basically about it's kind of based off Mark Wahlberg's life, actually. He actually produces a show. And it's about him and it's about an actor who is supposed to be similar to him, and his entourage is his 3 buddies, and basically they're hilarious, is all I can say. It's a great show. It's kind of just about the life of a movie star and what they go through. The first 6 seasons are on DVD, so if anybody wants to catch up on it. But great show. Check it out. Sunday, 10:30 p.m.
Check that out. Like, Mark Wahlberg's a good actor. He's very underrated, because a lot of people think Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch, good vibrations, but he's a good actor, good movies.
He's okay. He's hit or miss. I'll give him that.
Yeah.
When he hits, he's great. When he doesn't, he's not so great.
What Mark Wahlberg movie was surprisingly awesome? Shooter. Like, no one saw that. It was really good.
I guess I'm no one.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Well, I guess my recommendation for this week will probably be one of my favorite, especially when it comes to recent shows, my favorite of the decade is Arrested Development, with Jason Bateman as Michael Bluth, who's it's pretty much like the Godfather of TV shows, where there's a lot of similarities between the two, except this one's really funny, and the Godfather is just pretty cool. But Michael Bluth, he's the son of a wealthy man who owns a business, and Michael originally wants nothing to do with the business, but then gets involved, and it's very funny when the family goes bankrupt and Michael's in charge, and hilarity ensues when nobody wants to work, and it's a bunch of rich people who are trying to maintain their wealth. So it's pretty much, it's funny. It's like Cages.
Pretty much everything you do, Cages, is awesome. Admit it.
No arguments.
Alright, we don't want any arguments.
Oh, the cat is... Oh, wait, no, it's not. I thought it was frozen, but...
Okay.
The cat thinks there's water in the frozen mug because the
So do
frozen
you.
part melted.
So do you.
Exactly.
Anyways, well, this has been a pretty good show. I'm pleased with it.
I think so. What do you think, Cages?
Good show.
Yeah, what do you think, J-Russ?
I enjoyed myself.
All right,
And
awesome.
hopefully Frenchie doesn't screw this one up in post-production like he did last time.
Yeah.
I'm a terrible intern. I don't know why we haven't fired him yet.
Yeah. Hey, producer Melissa, do you have a TV show you want to recommend too?
I really don't get to watch that much TV anymore, so that's tough. But I do like Dexter and Degrassi and Arrested Development. I have not seen Entourage, but I'll have to check that out.
You have seen one episode of Entourage.
Oh yeah, I did see one episode.
With Tom Brady.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yep,
But-
Tom Brady was on one episode.
Really?
A lot of celebrity cameos on that show.
Yeah, Tom Brady had an interesting role in the show.
I gotta get HBO and all these channels. I feel like there's a ton of cool shows on them.
Oh, by the way, Arrested Development and Dexter are available for watching on Netflix for instant watching.
Yeah, Netflix.
Yeah,
Yeah, on your face.
I guess.
Anyways, I think that's about it. Tomorrow being Saturday, USA versus Ghana, round of 16 World Cup.
By the
game.
time everybody hears this, that game will already have happened.
Okay, well it's big news. I'll be watching that, and yeah, any other news you guys can think of before we leave? Any cool stuff?
Well, today was the 1-year anniversary of Michael Jackson's death. So, what did you do to memorialize this event?
I molested some kids.
Okay. I'm glad you admitted that. Was Cages one of those kids?
Yeah, that's why I threw him in the pool after, hoping he would drown so he could take me to court.
Oh, that's terrible. Cages, what did you do to celebrate? Well, not to celebrate, but to memorialize Mr. Jackson.
I didn't even realize that was today.
I was gonna say Michael Jackson died. Oh.
Actually, the one thing that I'm not looking forward to, but that I will memorialize is the death of Billy Mays.
Oh yeah, that's like next week.
That
right?
hits close to home.
That's
It's
like
a couple
next
days.
week.
Couple days.
And you actually had
Yeah, I
Big
know.
City Sliders,
So,
which is my
on that
favorite Billy
day,
Mays product.
I might use the Billy Mays sliders.
I agree. Let's have that Big City Slide. We gotta get some Mighty Putty too
to hold us together.
hold us together.
Because we're gonna be falling apart that day.
I love that Billy Mays. All he does is yell into the microphone. Like he can't just talk.
You'd hang out with him if you had the chance.
I would. I love Billy Mays.
It's kind of disappointing that they found narcotics in his body afterwards, but it's not too surprising.
Oh man, what was that Billy Mays joke you had?
Oh, I already said it on the air, but I'll say it again for those of you who might have missed it or forgot it. Well, you got Ed McMahon who died, and then Farrah Fawcett, and then Michael Jackson upstaged her by dying a couple hours later, and then leave it to Billy Mays to throw in a fourth one for free. So, it's
Billy
not-
Mays here.
not in great taste. But
Billy Mays here for Orange Go. Cleans,
Oh, that's Orange
polishes,
Glow.
and protects.
That's right. He did
Slides on smooth.
And then what was the hands-free device he did too? It was like
Magic Jack? I
no,
don't know.
it was, it was some other like hands-free phone thing. Orange Glow, Mighty Putty, Big City Sliders. What else?
If you look on
Cages, you watch TV all day. You should know this.
I should, but I don't.
That instant scratch remover.
Oh,
I
that's
can't
right.
remember the name of
Yup,
it.
instant scratch remover. That's right.
have you bought any of his
No, not that I know of. I don't think I
The
have.
original OxyClean. How did we forget
Oh,
that?
everybody's got it.
Yeah,
Everybody bought that.
OxyClean. Yeah. I remember it was so gross. You would take like a shirt and like you'd be like, "This is like human blood and entrails and coffee
from
mixed-
Michael Jackson.
in a bowl. I'm just gonna stick this shirt in it and then wash it. See, there, it's gone. It's like, all right.
Actually, you know what? You know what's funny? But before we end the show, is that when Michael Jackson died, if you asked a bunch of people the day before what they thought of him, they'd all say not so good things about him. But then the day after he died, everyone's in love with him again. Everyone's celebrating and crying. What a bunch of hypocrites we live with.
Whatever. I don't know. I mean, he, as an entertainer, he was good. As a person, he molested kids. I mean, enough said.
No, I don't think he actually molested kids.
You don't think he molested kids? He has a Ferris wheel in his backyard to bring kids into his home.
If you had that kind of money, you'd have a Ferris wheel in your backyard.
If I had that kind of money, I'd have a bunch of strippers come over. I wouldn't have a bunch of kids in a Ferris wheel and a giraffe in my yard.
He never had a childhood. He didn't have kids to hang out with. This was his way of being a kid again. And it's still weird. He probably should have had their parents come too.
He had kids sleep in the same bed as him. You don't think he molested kids?
Did you sleep in the bed with your parents when you were young?
Yes, but that was my parents. It wasn't my neighbor.
Yeah.
And he didn't invite me over to hang out with giraffes and, like, eat cotton candy.
But if you had a neighbor when you were a little kid who had giraffes and cotton candy, you'd be over there, wouldn't you?
I mean, I'd want to, but my parents probably wouldn't let me go in there.
Yeah.
Can you imagine what it would be like if you got to go to Billy Mays' house? He'd probably try to, like, sell you a bunch of crap. Like, I feel like if you stepped in his house, he'd be like, oh, Billy Mays, wow, like, your floor is so shiny. He'd be like, oh, that's because I use and only for it.
Sounds like one of my friends, I'll call him Agent Dume. Every time I hang out with him,
I know.
Every time I hang out with him, he has a salesman in his blood. I mean, you can't knock him for that, but hanging out with him and having a conversation always feels like he's trying to sell you something, even if it's just like going to the park. He's like, we should go to the park. It's so much fun. It's this and that, and yeah, you should read my business book and check out my business blog, which he does. He does have one.
It'd be funny if he said something serious. It's like I don't know, like someone died in the family, or like I lost my job or something. He's like, oh really? Well, for $9.95 you can. But that's what Billy Mays, I feel like, would do. I really think he was a ruthless salesperson who probably, I'm guessing he wasn't probably the best person to hang out with.
I don't know. I'm sure he was very interesting.
I mean, it's probably good to do a bunch of drugs with, but as far as hanging out with, I don't know about that. But I can't believe you don't think Michael Jackson molested kids. That's ridiculous. You realize you realize he settled claims out of court so he wouldn't, like...
Well, it depends how you define molest. But I'm sure he did stuff with kids that are not suitable, or... I don't think he did anything... You know, I'm going to just end the show right now. All right? I'd like to... Yeah, Michael Jackson, he's an odd guy. And he's dead.
It's funny because slowly you're agreeing with me, but you just won't say it because you will never agree with me.
Well, we don't know, so I can't say anything I don't know. All I know is he has a plastic face and he was a creepy guy.
And he had giraffes and Ferris wheels and invited kids over to the house and then to sleep over in his house.
I'd have giraffes and Ferris wheels too, if I had that kind of money.
I am keeping my kids in the future one day far away from you.
Well, you can come over too.
Clown on
You'd probably have more fun. You'd probably have more fun on the giraffe than the kids.
Yeah, but at least I wouldn't have to be worried about you raping me.
Like I said, on this note, we're gonna end the show.
Clown on her.
All right, enough clowning talk. All right. So as always, we'd like to thank our guest. Well, Eric doesn't want to thank you guys because apparently he thinks you're worthless.
I do. We're much better than you guys.
If you have such disdain for our guests, why do you do this show?
Because I don't know, because I got nothing better to do, because I'm so awesome.
So just so you can listen to it someday when you're older?
Pretty much. I'm just so awesome. I got so much free time. I just don't know what to do with it. So I decided to, hang out with you guys to see what it's like to be a loser.
What's it like?
It's awesome.
All right. Well, anyways, we'd like to thank our guests. We'd like to thank KJiz and Captain J-Russ, who both are invited back to the studio at any time they like.
Yeah, thank you for and J-Russ will be around all summer too, so hopefully he'll be on it a bunch.
We're hoping so. Maybe we can go flying with him and interview him in the air.
In the cockpit.
In the cockpit.
3 guys in a cockpit.
Anyway, and we'd also like to thank ourselves, because without us, the show would not be possible.
That's the most important.
Exactly.
So
Send
us emails, podcastrevolution@gmail.com. I'm not going to say anything else. Just at gmail.com.
All right. Das Vidania.
Or bye.
Snapper,